Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm gonna make a video about how to cope with relapse in mental illness. I don't know, relapse seems a bit like harsh, but I don't know what else to call it. So yeah, like coping with dealing with relapse. Basically, I'm not doing so well at the moment. So that's why I thought it was like a suitable time to like make the video, because I'm currently coping with relapse. So like share my expertise on the subject. The thing that's like difficult about like mental illness, I don't know, it always feels like you take one step forward, 3 steps back, like, and you don't really ever go anywhere. Like, everything's always really temporary and like nothing's permanent. You just, like, you're okay for a bit and then you're not okay for a bit longer, and then you're okay for a bit. Like, you never just consistently fine. So I guess the first thing coping with a relapse is like knowing that it's coming, like being aware of like what it looks like for you. Like, it's sort of like, you know, when you wake up and you've got a sore throat and you just might take a few precautions because you just think you might be coming down with something. You might take like a vitamin C tablet, or just wear an extra layer because you just want to just look after yourself a bit more, in case you're coming down with something. It's a bit like that. It's a bit more difficult than coming down with a cold, because when your mental health declines, it's like that's what your mental health wants. You probably aren't going to want to help yourself, and you're not going to want to ask for help, and you're not going to, rather than doing things to make you take extra care of yourself, you're going to start being more neglectful to yourself, because that's part of the relapse. For me, when I like start to go downhill, I get quite like spacey, sort of like being drunk. You get quite paranoid and jumpy. Like, I don't feel real, kind of. You feel like people are watching you or calling you or like laughing at you, stuff like that. That's quite like paranoid. I'm not usually a paranoid person at all. So if I start going to the supermarket and I keep jumping and like clumsy, I'll trip over things and like I'll kind of tremor a bit, and I just don't feel right. That would be a sign for me. I'd start to become quite physically in physical discomfort, like with my body aching a lot, or being really itchy, or being the wrong temperature all the time, stuff like that, which you just notice because, you know, you constantly feel uncomfortable, kind of don't feel that real. Like, you kind of feel like you just walk through things. Basically, I'm just trying to tell you the things that I notice when I'm going downhill. If you can recognise it, then it's less likely to shock you, because obviously sudden change isn't really pleasant for anyone. And if you're doing okay and then suddenly you don't know what happened, that's probably because like you weren't noticing the warning signs. Another thing for me is that I'll stop taking my medication. So I mean, I guess that is, these are kind of obvious things for me, but I guess for some people it could be more subtle. And then I guess once you like reach the lower point, then it's like just coping with that, just like waiting you just have to wait, really. It's like, I don't want to do today, I don't want to do tomorrow, I don't want to do, I don't want to be conscious. Even though at this point I'm not doing great, it was only a few days ago that I was fine and I was arranging things. So now I still have those things and I can still enjoy those things. For example, I've got some new sunglasses coming. So it's like, no, I don't want to be alive today, but I do want to get my new sunglasses and they're not coming till tomorrow. So I'll just have to wait it out. It's not particularly enjoyable, is it? Like, if when you're at like a really low point, obviously you don't really want, like, you don't really want to be alive. You're probably going to be more depressed and just kind of overwhelmed slightly with negative emotions. So it's not a nice place to be, but because you were kind of happy not so long ago, you can kind of wait it out, and just hope it doesn't last that long. The longer you're relapsed for, the worse it's going to get, because the further away you are from being happy, so you're going to have less things that were planned. Obviously, you've stopped taking medication, it's just going to keep getting worse. And keep myself going for a few weeks, because I've got things I'm looking forward to, like what I said, and you know, coping mechanisms that you'll already have, like sleeping, or I don't know, watching movies or whatever. But then it is important that you speak to someone, because you can't keep it up forever. When you get to a lower point, like, you become self-destructive, because that's what mental illness does. Like, it turns you on yourself. Whatever you struggle with, you are battling that, and you know, when you're doing well, you're winning. But then sometimes it comes through, it's stronger than you, and it distorts your thinking. Your illness and you are separate people when you're doing well. And when you're doing well, you make your own decisions and you want to be happy. You take your medication, you go to therapy, you do things that you know are going to keep you in a good place. But when you relapse or get in a bad way, the mental illness merges with you and you become one, and you don't think with your brain anymore, you think with the brain of the mental illness. There's a crossover phase where you're thinking through the mind of your mental illness, but you're aware of it and you know that it's not you thinking, and that's the point that you need to get help and do something quickly before you completely merge into one and you think that the mental illness thoughts are your thoughts. When the mental illness takes over, you'll know, because you'll start doing self-destructive things, you'll stop taking your medication, you'll become more depressed, you'll stop talking, and you'll want to get worse. For me, I want to do everything I can to make my life worse, so that I can reach a low point more quickly, and then once I'm at that low point, I'll be able to end it. While I'm in the cross phase, I know those thoughts aren't mine, and I know that isn't what I really want. But after a week or 2 weeks, you genuinely believe that's what you want. You can't choose to recover at that point. You have to be forced into recovery, because you want to stay
in a really bad place, because that's the only way that you're going to be able to end it. If you're in a good place, you're not going to be able to end it, and that's not what the mental illness wants.
Basically, remember, if you start to feel yourself going downhill, be able to recognise the warning signs that things aren't going great, and then as soon as they're not going great, do something about it, because the longer you wait, the harder it's going to get to do something about it. And it will feel hard to talk to someone, but the longer you wait, the harder it's going to get. I hope you guys are all doing well and you found the video helpful. I will see you guys soon. I'm going to make a video about what my autism means to me. Okay, bye guys.